We're going to pivot now to an old friend of mine, Sue Moss from New York
Very
City.
young, very
They're a young old friend. We go back to the University of Pennsylvania together. Sue, for those of you who don't know her, is one of the biggest names in divorce law in New York City. She's often quoted in the New York Post. She's regular on cable news as a talking head, and found a very clever way to get attention during this pandemic with her divorce lawyer tip of the day. Jay, do you have one teed up for us?
Divorce lawyer with your divorce law tip of the day. Are you quarantined with your spouse? Are you thinking to yourself, is now the right time to file for divorce from your spouse? Well, if you only have one residence, now is not the right time to divorce your spouse. And the reason for that is, if you don't enjoy quarantining with your spouse today, you're really not going to like it if you're also going through a divorce action. However, that's not the end of the story, because there are significant ramifications of filing for divorce when somebody's business is down and in the dumps versus when somebody's business is back on its feet once we all go back to work. So if you're thinking about getting divorced, but you're quarantined with your spouse, go into the bathroom, lock the door, turn on the water, and call me. We can have a discussion. Sue Moss, divorce lawyer.
So Sue has been putting these out regularly, up to 7 or 8 of them, and they're going viral on Facebook. I love it just because it makes you laugh, but there's nobody within your greater circle that isn't very clear about what you do and how you do it. So welcome, Sue.
I have a mantra, and that mantra is every potential referral source needs to touch my brand 5 times before they're going to give me a referral. And that means getting the beautiful thing about networking is that there is tremendous opportunities. If you're somebody who likes to talk, make a video. If you're somebody who likes to research and that's your passion, write an article. Any interest you have, there's a way to use that to network. You like to join clubs? Join every club and make them know exactly what you do. But specifically to matrimonial lawyers, there is a huge change in the field of matrimonial law, and there's going to be an even bigger change in the coming months. First of all, the change is now. Right now, in all of our states in America, there's very little access to the courts. So that gives you the opportunity, just as I said earlier, to differentiate yourself by taking each and every one of your cases and talking to your clients. Do you want to go to mediation? Maybe you're past the point of mediation. Then the question is, do you want to go to a private judge? If both sides want this case over, there is no reason to wait. You can always jointly determine somebody who is fair to act as your private judge. You can reserve, at least in the state of New York, your right to appeal, and you can get this moving, meaning you can keep your associates working, you can continue to bill, and you can keep on getting the dollars through the door. There are alternatives. Next thing to do now, because and I apologize for being so excited, but we in matrimonial are very, very lucky. When this quarantine is over, our business is going to explode. And we have the opportunity now to tee it all up. You can only imagine with half your clients saying, I can't afford to pay the spousal support or the child support that I had bargained for or a judge had ordered. You need to be getting in touch with each and every client. The first contact is, hey, how you doing? You okay? I know this is a tough time, and I know you had a tough time in the divorce. I just want to touch base to see if you're okay. The second touch is asking them either, has your spouse paid what they're required to pay? Or can you make the payments that you're required to pay? Do we need to do something? Either one of those, we're helping people. We really are helping people. But either one of those answers means business in the door. And this is business you don't want to walk away from. The reality is, and clients need to know knowledge. And this is the knowledge you need to give them. In every state, You only get a retroactive, help of reducing your support from the day you file. So
Hey,
that
Sue?
date of filing is so important.
Sue, look, obviously passionate about this. What I'd love you to dig deeper on, because we have lawyers who do all different types of law. You have done as good a job of anybody of layering these touches. Can you talk a little bit, whether it's cable news, whether it's the PTA, or whether it's social media? Talk a little bit more about how you've spread your brand around to build yourself into the juggernaut that you are in New York.
No matter what type of law you do, there should never be a party that you don't somehow gingerly work it into the conversation. The best way to do that, so you don't seem like an asshole, is to use humor. So if people, how you doing? Oh my God, I had the craziest week. Let me tell you. And then make up some sort of a joke. You don't even need to make it up because most of us have these anecdotes, but tell some sort of anecdote about what happened to you that week. Not only do you engender goodwill because you're laughing, you're telling a joke, but you're putting in the mind of the listener that this is somebody who does X. And the next time that somebody calls me for a problem with X, I can refer it out. There is no party that you should not mention what you do. Next, what are your circles? I see the picture of Marco Brown with the cutest little boy ever. I don't know if you guys are seeing it too, but the cutest little boy ever. Many people on this conference call have children or grandchildren. That is the greatest opportunity to meet those parents. Those parents are not only friends, obviously, but they're also business opportunities. And if you go to a school in a very nice area, a high economic, socioeconomic area, or a private school, this is a gift. This is a gift. We are all part of these networking organizations, but every organization you are in is a networking organization. The next thing is there is so much free opportunity on social media that it just astounds me when people aren't taking advantage of it. If you are not on Facebook, Instagram, and I mean, we do all types we do TikTok, even though I'm very old, but that's a whole other story. You should be doing all of these things. Even if you just want to touch people, you just write down what you do in the name of your firm and what type of law you practice, and it's just out there. Even when you just have some sort of nice comment wishing somebody a happy birthday, that is a touch. And sometimes we all know people who are lawyers in our practice who are terrible. They're just terrible lawyers. They're not smart. And you wonder to yourself, how do these people who barely have a license, we're just waiting for them to be caught, how do they get so much business? And that's because the skill set of being a substantively good lawyer is very different than the skill set of getting business. And you have two jobs. You have two jobs. That is your job. And it's fun. It's, I have this partner, and he's a great service partner. He always makes sure the lights are on. He's very good. And I try to explain to him, getting business is fun. If it's not fun, then you're not going to the right place to get business. If you like to only read and talk about, somebody said Hamlet before. If you do understand Hamlet, okay, join a Shakespeare group and make sure you talk about what you do and relate it to what the point of the club is. Even if you just go to a bar, just sit at the bar and start talking about yourself. But
let's go to the bar, everyone. Let's go. New York City.
Sue, I got some in the remaining minutes. I wanted you to dig deep on this because I know during this pandemic, there's been a lot of calls from the press to do stories. A lot of people on this call have been doing different social outreach, helping get meals out. You have done historically a great job of getting yourself on TV, but that comes with a huge cost.
Yes.
Particularly in pre-pandemic times where you had to go somewhere, sit in a studio, then come back to the office. A little bit better now. But how do you balance it out? Because it's not a one-for-one return every time you're on TV there's a client. You've done that for years and years, giving up personal hours, business hours, billable hours. Talk a little bit about that sort of mix of how do you balance and how do you know where is a place to spend time versus what's not a great place to spend time?
Okay, at the beginning of your career, and I'm going to geek out on you, you must keep track of your rate of return on investment. You must keep track. Okay, I did 4 appearances yesterday. How often is my phone ringing this month as compared to last month? Numbers don't lie. And you have to keep track of the numbers. You need to figure out how many people are calling. You must keep a list of all of your people who have given you referrals, how many referrals, whether it was good business or bad business, and you must track how you met them. What opportunity did you take that produced that rainmaker for you, that produced that particular business? In my office, I know I don't know monthly, and the people who do it day, God bless you. Every year, the week after Christmas break, I get how many dollars came in from each person, and then I tie it back to each way I met them or interacted with them or had some sort of communication. Did they come from media opportunities? How you must ask each person, how did they get your name? It is the most important part for me, of the entire interview process, and you track it. And if going on CNN is not trackable business to you, then you've got to stop. Now, it gets to a point where you have a lot of business and you like the business you get, and then you can start doing things because it's just fun, but still track it. But it's still, don't give up the things that are fun, but you must track every single client and where they found you.